Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Shout out to Marsh, man, becoming a new member of the Culture Shock fan base, man. I appreciate you. What is going on? I appreciate you 100%, man. Thanks. What's up, Kyle? Hey, B, what's going on? Matthew, what's up? What's up, Big Play Slay? Inside the Horseshoe Podcast. What's up? What's up, Joe? I'm in here just chilling, man. I didn't have an upload idea, so I thought I'd just live stream. I just woke up from a nap. It's been a long day. Best O line in the league, facts. Just woke up from a nap. You can probably tell that. What do I think of the schedule? What's up, Killer Vibes? Schedule's gonna be tough, but I think we can pull it out. I think we can pull it out. Who will score more points in the Super Bowl this year, the Bucks or the Colts? It'll be it'll be the Colts, because if we was to play them in the Super Bowl, it'll be a field goal. You said same here? Yeah. What's up, Logan? Thoughts on Fisher? I like the move, man. We got our left tackle. Colts versus Bucks calling it. What's up, Kyle? Colts Niners thriller. But Tom Brady owns the Colts. Not really. 13-4, 14-3. Fisher's legit. Just need to wait a bit. Hey, shout out to Hey B for the $4 super sticker, bro. What is up, man? What is going on? What up, Blue Nation? Got to play Seattle week 1. That's dope, man. That is dope. I appreciate that, bro. You'll be Seattle week 1. Seahawks are overrated. Yeah, Seahawks are. That's it. Best O line in the league, and we're going to be Seattle. Yeah, everybody's thinking we're going to be Seattle week 1. I like it. And we'll lose game 17. Yep. I enjoy the content, man. Thanks for helping feed my Colts addiction. Hey, man, you're welcome. To be honest, to make Colts content, you have to be addicted yourself. So I'm definitely there with you. Carson Wentz versus Russell Wilson should be spectacular. It'll be a show if it comes down to that. It'll be a show. So I live just west of Indy. I'm a diehard Packers fan, but I love the Colts as well. And my girl's a Colts super fan. I would ever, he said, not that I would ever switch up my teams, but if I ever there was the time. We're going to lose to the Bucks, Titans once, Rams possibly, and the Bills. He said we all have our faults looking. Look at Kyle Toxic. Two of the highest rated NDSU quarterbacks even this year. Not going to be an easy season. Yeah, Joe. It's gonna be a roller coaster. 'Hey, BC, parts of me feel like we'll beat Seattle just because of the streak that has to end eventually, and something makes me feel like it'll be this year. Hungry young team, and Carson wanting to prove himself. Yeah. So, what's up, Ryan Reeves? How you doing? I'm good, man. 16-1. I think if we come out the first 5 weeks 3-2 or better, we should be okay. Facts. $15-2. Yeah, that'd be nice. The one will be against the four downs. Of course, of course, of course, of course. Doesn't surprise me. You think the Bucks going to lose to the Colts in the Super Bowl this year? What up, Juiced Up? How you doing, man? I see you. See you pushing out your content. I see it. Think we have a little easier schedule. We'll be able to fight for the number one seed. True. You got us going 13-4. Talked about the Colts offense this year. What do you think about Grayson moving around in different positions? I think he'll be a solid tight end though. Don't know if you see the field much this year. Don't know. Who would Michael Pittman Senior want to win the Colts? I'm definitely going to be the Colts. What up, Ryan? But yeah, I think it'll definitely be the Colts if he had to choose. Gonna follow how well Woods plays. Facts. Buccaneers versus Colts. A lot do, yeah. A lot does weigh on Carson. That's true. Well balanced teams in the league. Yep. Fact. If Wentz can make things happen with our offense, if he can't make things happen with our offense, he won't ever start in the league again. I don't know about that. Blake Bortles just got signed to the Packers. No one thought he was going to be how he was. Anything's possible in the NFL. So I will give the edge to the Bucks to Tampa Bay, mainly because they have a better quarterback. Yeah, it is Tom Brady. What's up, Christian? How you doing? You think Frank will help take the pressure off Carson? It's definitely probably going to be Jordan Love first. Let me see. You're a Love fan. Your nephew was on his team in college. Nice. One doesn't have to be amazing good. You don't have to be amazing, just good because we have a good run game. True that. Why do you think Carson chose two? It's the first number. It's a fresh start. Did you want Jordan Love last year? No, I wasn't. I never was in that Jordan Love boat. Never wanted him. What do you think about the Colts draft? I loved it. I loved it now. I didn't like it at first. I love seeing Cropper wins because when he's great, when he has a great year, it'll be better to see him, better to see them be proven wrong. Right, right, right. He said you fell into it. We had a chance to get so many quarterbacks. Of course, the Colts had their eyes on already set, but we had the chance to get so many. Rodgers, we could have got Stafford, Sam Darnold. We could have got so many quarterbacks. Yeah, what's up, John? Yeah, I don't think Hooker's coming back. Not so sure. Colts versus Bills in the AFC Championship. You going to the Colts versus Miami game because you're 30 minutes away from Miami? Nice. No, you're good inside the horseshoe. Carson Number's choice has something biblical to do with it. Did anybody see him at the racing today? He was on a microphone trying to amp up the crowd. I'm gonna have a little fun. Let me see something. Uh, see if I'm missing anything in the chat. Oh, you forgot it was a race today? The Bills are scary. The Xmas games are gonna be a good one. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Same, John. I've been watching them forever, man. I've been watching them forever. Yeah. I want to do a tiers list with you guys live. It don't have to be football related to me. Just be anything. See what we can do. Uh, you think you can get 10K subs by the end of the year? Depending on how the season works and how my ideas flow. Anything's possible. So, mm, say worst Madden ever. That's I think the Colts would do good this year. You're trying to, bro. I appreciate that, John. Thank you. I can't even really tell what these Madden games is. I'm just old, so I can't really see. Great things just zoomed in. Can't do that one. When the Colts do good this year, I like how you fixed it. You still have Greg Olson on this one. What up, Cameron? How you doing, man? You think Madden 15 was good? The one with Peyton on it? Oh, the one with Peyton was still in it. Yeah. All right, here we go. Waiting for the opener. Yeah, I'm thinking about going to the Colts versus Jets game. They have the Chargers on this one twice. All right, so we'll start off with the Patriots, right? Where do you guys think the Patriots will be next year? Horrible, bad, average, good, or godly? Well, we know they're not godly, good, or average. Well, not godly or good, but Maybe the Patriots may be average next year. He said trash. Average. I got a trash and average. Cameron said yes. Put bias aside. Let's put bias aside. I think they could be average. They're the future is the 2017 Browns. Jesus Christ. I'm going to put them at average from now. All right, Eagles. You guys think the Eagles got their quarterback situation solved? Add a Patriots category at the very bottom. The Eagles are going to be a bottom 5 team. Do you think Ronnie was ready to be a head coach? I mean, he took the role, so I think everybody that goes to the NFL coaching staff wise wants to be the controller of the team. So he said the Eagles are trash. So we'll put Eagles at horrible. What up, Tino? How you doing? All right. Put the Eagles at horrible. The worst medical staff in the league. All right, Kansas City Chiefs. Now I'm only expecting good or godly from them. Nothing else. Where should the Eagles? Where should the Kansas City Chiefs go? You pick Flus as your head coach, yeah. Kansas City is done. Facts, Marshman. I don't think the Chiefs are done. I think they can be good. I don't think they're godly. Just chilling, yeah, same here. Good. I don't trust the defense. Me neither. Yeah, man. I think the Chiefs could be good, man. When you lose to Brady in the Super Bowl, you're done. He said it's never Mahomes, right? I don't know. Think about the teams that Brady's beat in the Super Bowl. He's beaten the Rams in the Super Bowl, but they still found a chance to get back to the Super Bowl. So Mahomes is overrated. Jesus Christ. I'll put the Chiefs as good. The weapons make him. Don't know about that. Arizona Cardinals. I know people have their thoughts about them next year. The Kansas City is far from done. Yeah, facts. They'll still be able to pull in people to try to win that ring. What up, Indiana Sports Talk? He said overrated. What do y'all think about the Cardinals, man? Y'all think the Cardinals will be an average team, good, godly? They got a good roster. Had a good offseason. If anything, the Super Bowl showing us how important the left tackle is. That's a fact. The Bucks exposed Kansas City. Eh, you think the Cardinals would be good? Average? It's interesting, man. 10-7 Cardinals. So that's average for me. Their O line just fell apart, and then Brady lit up the defense. Yeah, that's true. All right, 8-9 Cards. So I'm gonna go average. Gonna go average. Is it the Cards playoffs or 8-1? You're a Watt and Hopkins fan, Arizona? Hmm. What about the Bills? What up, Trevor? How you doing, man? Just chilling. Thought I'd come up with an idea. Bills might be the best team in the AFC, elite. So we're putting the Bills at good or godly. Yeah, it's not. This isn't mine, man. I don't know why they have two Charger logos. Weird. We need a great tier. All right, so I'm gonna switch out. See if I can find another one. Because obviously that one's weird. All right, yeah, fine with that one. They're doing this by wins, I guess. I don't know though, but it says 7 wins. 5 tiers is nice. Yeah, this is like it. Yeah, it is a bit much. These lists are headaches. Is it Goodly? What? I'm not liking this website. How about this one? You think the two Charger ones was the best one? I don't know. That's what it's looking like. Try making my own. Is it gonna make me use the logos though? Yeah, see, I have to find all the images and stuff, man. I'm impatient. I don't have time for all that. It's like, oh my gosh. Just give me one easy. No, I don't want that. You guys give me an idea what we can do. I don't wanna what? Sheesh. Okay, I think this one should work. Okay, this one's better listed. All right, I think we'll work with this one. All right, so trash. Let's start off with trash. Who's going to be trash? The Panthers. What do you got the Panthers going next year? Trash, meh, decent, good, elite. Panthers. Yeah. So the teams we already talked about. Eagles, trash. We figured that out already. Cardinals is going to be meh. We figured that out already. Patriots is going to be trash. Figured that out already. The Chiefs is going to be decent, I'm guessing. Young team, bad quarterback, good running back. All right, so I think this was where we stopped. All right, Panthers is going to be meh, I'm guessing. Cardinals is decent. Just a fact. The Chiefs is good. All right. Panthers. Carolina Panthers. They got a quarterback now. McCaffrey's coming back from injury. They drafted an O-line. They're going to have a decent defense. I think the Panthers could be a mint team. Don't know what you could get from them. He said, I thought the pass was decent, but trash is fitting. So you got meh on the Panthers. Guessing that's the Rams logo here. What do y'all think about the Rams? They're going to be good or elite? Whatever you say about them, they're going to be better than the Chiefs. Rams got one of the best rosters, man. They got him a quarterback now too. Rams could potentially win the Super Bowl this year. The Rams going to be good. Yeah, the Bills are elite. So are the Rams good or elite though? They got a good cornerback core, good quarterback, good coaching staff, good defense. They have no home field advantage. Sure. All right, Mr. Matthew. San Francisco 49ers. Where do we stand with the 49ers? Meh, rookie quarterback. What up, Miles Bryan? How you doing? I like that. Josh Allen elite. So we putting the Rams in meh, getting closer and closer to 2K. Yeah, Miles, we're almost there, man. Put the 49ers in meh, huh? Texans. Oh, the 49ers is decent. Texans is trash. We know that already. We don't even have to vote on that. Definitely Cardinals low. True that. The Bengals. That's a tricky one. The Bengals is a tricky one. They got a good offense now. John, what are we doing here? John's trying to troll me. Trying to troll me, John? Texans elite Davis Mills. See, that's a tough one, yeah. You don't think the Bengals could? Yeah, they could be, man. You're right. How are they going to protect Joe Burrow? That's the real question. And I love Joe Burrow, man. You don't trust teams from Ohio? I respect it. Los Angeles Chargers. And the Chargers is a team that can beat up the Chiefs. And they got a good quarterback. They got some protection for him now. Defense is going to be decent with Derwin James and Bosa. Although Chargers going to be decent next year. That's a tough one. Decent, right? I was thinking the Chargers will be decent. I think they'd be decent for sure. Yep. Got another decent vote. I agree. I 100% agree. Yep. Let's put them at decent, man. Decent is safe. All right. We got the Jets. Thursday night. It's a game I'm going to be attending. They got a quarterback. Who knows? He might be saying ghost to. I like Herbert. I really do. Chargers got potential. Chargers really have potential, man. The Jets, I think they're going to be trash. Not going to lie. No, not going to. He said trash is fine. Jets, meh. No Adam Gase. You like Herbert? Me too. Trash is fine. I'll come say what's up at the Jets game. I'm in section 110. All right. Maybe I'll try to meet up with you guys before the game starts outside. All right, we got the Broncos. What are we thinking about the Broncos? Meh, borderline trash. Drew Lock sucks, but if they get it, Rodgers maybe elite. That's if they get Rodgers. I doubt it though. I doubt they get Rodgers. I doubt it. Trash. We're going trash on the Broncos. I don't know. The Broncos could be meh to me. I think they could be meh. I think they could be meh. What up, John? He said ranker. Nah, I'm not really ranking. I'm just trying to get personal views from everyone. How you doing, man? Yeah, they could be meh. I don't know if they're on the I don't know if they're on the Chargers or 49ers level. Not even the Cardinals, but yeah, I think they'd be meh. Don't know how they'll work out. All right, the Colts. Are the Colts elite or good? I'm gonna put my bias aside. I'm gonna ask you, where do you rank the Colts? Is it like Teddy Fiasco? Colts good, maybe elite sometime soon. You got them at good. You live in Denver? Mile high. Elite? You put your bias aside too. I think we're as good as the Bills. I really do. I think we are as good as the Bills. Said same. They gave the Bills all they could to handle with Rivers. That is facts. Which is why I'm excited for Carson. He can be better. And Rivers was like almost 50, bro. Rivers is almost 50. I'm going to give us the elite. The Giants, trash. Sorry, I like Saquon. I love Saquon, man. The team has potential, but I just think they're going to be trash. They got to go up with They got to go up against the Cowboys and the Washington football team 2 times a year. 2 teams that really have improved. I don't think they can put up that fight. Darius Toney got a good quarterback. You said Saquon. It's not even that, man. It's like if you look at the roster, it's like they're going to be okay, but I don't think they can. I don't think they can pull it out this year. Now next year is a different story. I don't think they can pull it out this year. Titans. I'm going to put them at good. I don't want to hear any back talk. Can't back talk me on the Titans. He says the Cowboys are always trash. What's up, Harsh? That is pretty harsh, though. You got the Cowboys being better than the Giants, though? We can actually vote for them next. Yeah, the Titans good, yeah. It is a division here, I'm not gonna lie. What do you get? Where you got the Cowboys standing at, y'all? Trash, man, decent. You say meh? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That I see. All right, Harsh. We can agree. We can agree. We can agree. Agree. We're on the same page. We're on the same page. All right, let's choose the Saints, man. Saints just lost Drew Brees. They got their quarterback. Saints. Saints can be met, right? Decent. Decent. Saints beat the Bucks twice. See, that's where the flag comes in because there's a flag on play. We're going to give it a 20-yard penalty on that conversation. They beat them twice. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. They got to the playoffs and got spanked. Meh, right? I'm going to say meh on that. I'm going to say meh. Don't know how the Saints are going to come out next year. They can have a decent defense. Don't know how they're going to pan out. We don't. They almost got 1 seed. I'm talking about next year, though. Baltimore Ravens. Where do we stand at with the Ravens? They are elite, right? Am I right? I think the Ravens are elite. I think y'all can agree with me on that. The Ravens elite, right? Ravens are good. No, I think they can. I think the Ravens can be elite. But Lamar needs to throw better. I think it comes down to the coaching staff though. I don't know. I think the Ravens are elite. Look at how the list is set up right now. You got the Chiefs being good, the Rams being good, the Titans being good, but then you got the Bills and Colts being elite, but you don't have the Ravens up there. Come on, seriously, seriously, seriously. The Ravens have to be neck and neck with us if we're up there. It's as simple as that. A storm is coming. What up, Interzone? You know what I actually think? I'm going to give you the best scenario, right? You mentioned how Lamar needs to throw better. We got the same situation with Carson Wentz. So how could you not put them at the same tier? So on that note, I'm putting them up there. Elite. I'm putting them up there. That is a mic drop right there. Do you think the coach should be a good? So you think we're on par as the Titans? I think we're better than the Titans, though. Green Bay, what's up with A-Rod? That's a good topic. The the Green Bay Packers, even with or without Aaron Rodgers, I think they should be decent, right? Am I right? You think the Packers are decent? Maybe the Titans could be a decent. You're right. The Titans could be a decent, right? What up, Lucas? The Packers are good. Packs is decent. Interesting. Interesting. This is where it starts to get tricky, huh? Decent. We got to put them in the middle because we don't know what they're going to do next year. The Packers have Rodgers; they are elite, right? But let's just put them in the middle because we don't know what they're going to do next year. Let's just put them in the middle. Fine. Just put them in the middle. He said, "Don't matter. We beat them." That is a mic drop. I'm gonna just put them in the middle because we don't know what the Packers are going to do. So I'm just gonna put them in the middle. The Raiders. I'm going to give them a man. Don't know what the Raiders are doing. I don't know what the Raiders are doing. I'm going to put them in the middle. Raider hater. Oh my goodness. The Raiders screw up every year. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. The Raiders do screw up every year. Steelers is good or elite. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I think that's a little too high for the Steelers. You put it, Steelers could be decent, man. No O-line for Najee Harris to run behind and Bender's regressing. That's what I'm saying, John. We can agree on that, John. 100%. Good at best. Y'all really got faith in Rodgers like that? Not Rodgers, but Ben Roethlisberger? What are we doing here? Decent at most, right? I think we can agree on that. Decent at most. The Vikings. The Vikings. Even though I love Justin Jefferson. The Vikings. Gotta put the Vikings at meh. The Vikings good? We gotta put the Vikings at meh. I don't think the Vikings are gonna be good. I don't know, man. Patrick Peterson too. Changed his number to 7. You say decent. Maybe decent. It's tricky. You need some coffee. Offense is set. Yeah, they do got Dalvin and Dallas is trash. No, no, no. We can't do that. We can't do that. They're pretty much in the same boat. Don't know what you're gonna get from them. They're pretty much in the same boat. I think they're in the same boat. Going into next year, I think they're in the same boat. I think we put both of them at meh. I'll be right back. Not on the same level as the Cowgirls? Wow. It's tough. That is tough. How could you say that though? Be honest. That's their job, man. That's what they got to do. Vikings got a good offense. Cowboys got a good offense. Vikings defense pretty decent at what they do. Cowboys defense pretty decent at what they can do. That's why I say that. So I say that, man. I think they're both going to be men next year. I really do. Don't shoot the messenger. I think if we're doing that, put them both on the same level, man. Why don't they do it for small market teams? Because they don't get talked about. That's not where the revenue's going. Just saying. Just saying, man. Got to be honest with yourselves, man. When you do stuff like this, I think that's where I am. That's where I stand at when it comes to this. When I look at certain teams, that's how I feel. Truly, how I feel. It's all good though. Like I said, it ain't no knock on teams, man. It's just where they stand. It's no knock on teams. Heart over head losers in this. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Jax is trash. Jax is man. Another tricky thing. Jaguars is another tricky team. Another tricky team, man. Another tricky team. Don't know where the Jags are going to stand at. Yeah, that is true. That is true. What up, Brandon? How you doing, man? Just chilling on a Saturday night, you know. Yep, we can win our division. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna put the Jaguars in decent. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna put the Jaguars at decent. Gonna put the Jags at decent. Yeah, man, that's what we're doing, man. We're just chilling, you know. Chilling on a Saturday night. You come through, you come through. You don't, you don't. Ain't got nothing else to do, so hey, man, why not? Right? Just thought I could bring this up. See what people minds are at. True, true. Just catching up with the chat. I was on Twitter. Sorry, y'all. He said, I think we won every primetime game. Week one is huge. We need to set up Carson, see if Carson is ready. And winning is huge, huge confidence booster, especially in week two. Yeah, man. Oh, especially week one, right? Jags are decent, but there are so many question marks because there are so many rookies and a new head coach. Never know. Yeah. Yep. Never know. For game one, who I got it? I got us winning. I got us winning week one. You got that for the Dolphins? That's where you stand? Hey, what's up, Lucas? How you doing, man?
Hey man, how's it going? I'm Doing all right. Can't complain.
Facts, man. I'm just in here chilling. Just thought I'd pull up the tiers list and see what people's thoughts was at. So, I mean, hey, man, if you want to get in on that, you can, or if you want to just chill, you can do that too.
What's this tier list about?
I have the tiers list just ranking on the NFL teams going into next year. So pretty much as of now, um, the trash teams that we have set, me in the chat. Sometimes I agree to myself. The trash teams are the Eagles, the Patriots, the Texans, Jets, and the Giants.
All right. I can definitely see that for every single team. Sorry to hear about that for our old offensive coordinator's first year, but the Eagles have a lot to work on. They need to
Yeah,
stay healthy,
that's
especially up front.
facts, man. Facts. All right, so we see that. So for the meh teams, that's like meh. We put the Panthers, the Bengals, the Broncos, Cowboys, the Saints, Raiders, and the Vikings.
I mean, that definitely seems like a pretty fair assessment. I know some of those teams do have some upside, of course. The Saints are a really well-built roster. However, how well are they going to be without Drew Brees is going to be a big question mark. Raiders, they have a very fun offense, but their offensive line definitely regressed, and their defense is, let's say, a work in progress, just to be kind.
Right, exactly.
And Broncos, they'll definitely shoot up if they get Aaron Rodgers somehow, but we'll wait on and see on that one.
Yeah.
But so far, I'm liking the tier list.
Yeah, man, facts. I was kind of shocked to see how it goes. So this is where it gets tricky. When we went to the decent tiers list, we put the Cardinals, the 49ers, Chargers, Packers, Steelers, and Jaguars.
Yeah, that's an interesting tier. I mean, the Jaguars are definitely an up and coming team, I believe. Like, they have a great draft. Their free agency was solid. Urban Meyer, we'll wait and see how he is in the pro game. But it's going to be a mixed bag, I'd say, especially with a rookie quarterback, though Trevor Lawrence should be a very special rookie as well. So it's a wait and see on them. Steelers, I mean, dominant defense, but how much do we know that Big Ben has at this point? How much is left in that tank? Green Bay Packers, who knows what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers, so that seems like a pretty fair spot for them at this point. And Chargers, they have talent on paper to be one of the best teams in the NFL, but just seems like every year they get snake bitten with something that just the universe seems to hate the Chargers.
Facts.
And that's the only explanation I can see it. Cardinals, they're kind of up and coming, but we'll see how their new pieces kind of fit and how much everyone has left in the tank of their veterans, and if Kyler Murray can take that next step. And 49ers just don't get hit with the cataclysm that is the injury bug again, and they'll probably bounce back, but we need to see how healthy they'll be.
100%, man. I agree. That's pretty much a solid statement there. Just scrolling through something real quick. What up, Aunt Rivera? How you doing? Let's go ahead and move on to what else I was talking about. Oh, so for the goods list, the teams that'll be good, we put the Chiefs, Rams, and Titans.
That's a little bit bold with the Chiefs spot right there. I can guarantee that's going to get some eyebrow raises from people. I really like what they did in replacing their offensive line. We'll have to see how they kind of fit together, but on paper, the offensive line looks possibly even better than last year. We'll just have to see how it holds up. Rams are very inconsistent, but when they're on, they can beat almost any team. And if Stafford is able to take the next step with this level of a talent and coaching staff around him, they can be crazy dangerous.
Yeah.
Titans, I'll give them their credit. they definitely do have a strong three-headed monster with Brown, Henry, and Tannehill. But outside of that, their offense is looking a little dicier this year.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense seems to at least improve a little bit, but it's harder to get worse than what they were last year. So honestly, I'd probably move the Titans down in my opinion, though I know it's your rankings.
No, this is not mine at all.
Oh, it's not yours?
Nope, I'm just chilling on it. We can move it.
Whose is it?
It's a regular website, but we just agreed on it all, so I can move it.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, move the Titans all the way down. No, but yeah, it's an interesting. Whoever put this together put the Chiefs at the second tier. It's a bold take. I'll say that much.
Yeah. So next to that, elite is the highest list. Is the elite list. We put the Bills, Colts, and Ravens up there.
Well, definitely whoever put this list has AFC favoritism there. But Bills, they're looking legit, especially after last year. If Josh Allen proves that last year wasn't a one-year fluke, I can completely agree with that kind of praise. Ravens might take a little bit of a step back in their pass rush, but their weapons on offense have gotten even better, and I think ultimately they'll be a crazy dangerous team per usual. And how about them Colts at
Yeah.
top tier? I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's bold. I'm an optimist at times, and I don't know if I'd even put them that high, but I welcome the praise.
Just saying, man. Like the Bills is good and everything, but I think we're on that level.
Yeah, we were really close to beating them in that wild card game. I mean, it's just that we kind of beat ourselves more than we beat them, or than they beat us. I mean, just tons of drops, a few bad penalties here or there, and of course, we didn't quite get that final drive going as much as we wanted, and we had a chance to win even at the end.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. So I think we're close to them. I don't know. We'll get a chance to see how close we are after this offseason in the regular season now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun year.
Yeah, and said the Chiefs are elite. I don't know, man. I think the Chiefs took a step back, even though they still be solid. Don't know where they're going to stand at though with this O-line situation. So
True.
it's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
Next up, we got teams that are still not on the list. So we're going to talk about the Dolphins. Where do you think they should go on this list?
Ooh. All right. The Dolphins, they definitely were the best team in the NFL who missed the playoffs last year.
Yep.
On either AFC or NFC, they were the best on that front. And I really, really like what they did in their draft. They had a ton of assets for it, and I think they actually really improved. So before the offseason, they probably would have been that decent tier. But I'm thinking if Tua takes this next step with this level of a roster, I think I'd put them at that kind of like second tier right there.
Oh, so the good level.
Yeah, at the good level.
Okay.
I think they're going to win the they're going to at least compete with the Bills for the AFC East. Probably going to get a wild card, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins roster. They got, like I said a few days ago, they got probably one of the best secondary cores in the NFL with that cornerbacks, Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. Then they got some good safeties, good linebacker core that's pretty decent. The edge rush, they did an upgrade on that. So it's going to be a pretty scary sight for the Dolphins next year.
Plus, they got some extra weapons in the passing game to help Tua out.
Yep.
A little bit more protection as well. It should be a very, very fun time for a Dolphins fan next year.
Yep, man, they're going to enjoy that. Next up, the Washington football team. And now for me, I think they're elite.
Ooh. The name redacteds. They, I mean, I love what they did this offseason, though I hate their ownership. But I'll give the GM and I'll give their coach praise enough. They have put together a really, really strong roster in a very quick amount of time. I'd probably put them at that orange to red tier right there.
Okay. You think they match up with the Colts, Bills, and Ravens, or the Chiefs, Rams, and Dolphins?
Ooh. I mean, that defense can go toe to toe with pretty much any single defense in this league. I mean, that pass rush. I mean, Chase Young was already a monster as a rookie, and I can only imagine how much bigger of a monster he's going to become in his second year. Very
Right.
scary for opposing quarterbacks. But now they got even more weapons. They got an actual quarterback now in Fitzmagic, who, say what you will, is he a great quarterback? No, but he's at least an upgrade over what they had before, which if they can actually get some decent quarterback play out of him, plus with those weapons, they got Curtis Samuel, they got Terry McLaurin, and I'm forgetting who they drafted. I think Diami Brown. I could be wrong, but they got a lot of tools out there that they can be very, very scary. So I'd probably put them at that red tier potentially. I think they can match up with a lot of these teams at the red tier.
I like that. Whoa, Joe, welcome back, Joe. You think he wouldn't put the Colts at elite? That's kind of crazy. I think we have one of the best rosters on paper. So I think paper wise, I think we're elite paper wise when it comes to paper.
There are some questions with the Colts, of course, with like a bunch of new pieces at defensive end, left tackle, and quarterback. And we'll have to see how they do year one there. But outside of that, and of course, those are very big keys. If Eric Fisher can come back healthy, he can be a Pro Bowl level left tackle, which on that offensive line is scary to add. I mean, Carson Wentz, if he can't get it done in Indianapolis, he can't get it done anywhere, probably. So, and I like his chances of bouncing back. Plus, Kwity Paye, oh my God. If he develops the type of moves that I expect he develops with Robert Mathis teaching him, with that level of athleticism, dear Lord, that is going to be scary. He might not be like quite Justin Houston level year one, but within 2 and 3 years, we might have a real monster on our defense there.
Yeah, 100%, man.
So, I mean, and outside of that, the Colts roster is very, very loaded. So I'd put us at the elite tier potentially. Though, if people want to sleep on us, that's fine. We'll just surprise more people later on in the season.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. Marshman, what do you mean? Why is Washington football team up top? They're probably one of the best teams on paper besides us and the Rams. Besides them too, their Washington football team is loaded.
I mean, just look at what they did in this offseason and look at what their defense was before and connect the two together, and you'll see why we're pretty high on the name redacteds over there.
Yeah, man. They almost knocked off the Super Bowl champions. Just saying.
True. And that was with Taylor Heineke as their quarterback.
Yep.
Now you put in Fitzmagic with even better weapons, with now Charles Leno potentially at left tackle. Add in even more pieces to that defense to make it even scarier. I mean, it's hard not to like what they're building at this point, just solely roster-wise.
Yeah, for sure. And Rivera. The only reason I put the Packers there because we don't know if Rodgers is playing. This is next season predictions too. It's not an actual thing. So whatever the list is not real. It's just predictions, personal opinions. Okay?
Yeah, if Rodgers plays, he's definitely bringing them up to the red tier.
Absolutely.
But at this point, we just have no idea whether he's going to be with the Packers or with the Broncos or with anyone else, really. So it's a wait and see on how this situation turns out with the Packers, though. It's no disrespect to them as a team. They have a very, very strong team. But when you lose an MVP level quarterback or are in danger to, you kind of have to question, like, how much was he possibly covering up? Or, and it really will test the roster to see how good they truly are. Though I think it's still a pretty solid roster, and that's why it's fair to kind of put them in the decent spot, at least for right now. I mean, It's a wait and see if Jordan Love, if he even plays, how good he would be for the Packers in 2021.
Yeah, man, he's gonna have to quarterback battle him and Blake Bortles, man. Oof, Blake Bortles,
Ooh.
better look out. He's a monster. You heard Matt LaFleur. He said he almost knocked off the Patriots when he played for the Jags. So he got high for him.
Jacksonville's now all in on Green Bay and Blake Bortles. They've already forgotten about Minshew mania.
It's insane.
That's life in the NFL, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. What up, Interior Cheerio? This is not accurate. I mean, it's just a personal opinion list. It's not supposed to be accurate. Where do you put the Colts, Interior? But we're gonna keep moving. So the Lions is up next. Now they took a huge step back. Lord knows what they're gonna do next year. I don't know where you want to put them at on this list.
Well, they definitely have assets for the next 2 drafts, so that's positive for them. But this ranking is solely focusing on how they're going to be doing in 2021 season. And I'm just going to say it. I'm not a big believer in Jared Goff outside of Sean McVay. I think he's a bridge quarterback for them. I do not have much confidence in him outside of the McVay system and with a much worse roster around him in Detroit. So I'm thinking they're probably going to be at or near the bottom of the league. I mean, I do like Sewell, though, and I think he's going to be a monster for them for years, and he'll at least have good protection.
Mm-hmm.
But they do not have many weapons. Their defense is a work in progress, to put it delicately, as I said earlier, for for the Raiders. But yeah, it is not a good roster for 2021. They're a solid green tier team for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I was gonna put the Lions at that trash tier, well, the green tier, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I definitely was thinking about putting them. Is though they got a lot to work on. Hopefully they figure it out. But it is Detroit. They know how to ruin careers. So shout out to the Lions.
All right, the careers of Barry and Megatron.
Megatron and Stafford, they have all this Barry Sanders, all this talent, and nothing pans out right for them. I don't know what it is. Think the Lions go 8-9 in 2021? Don't know about that. I don't think they're winning 8 games.
I would be shocked if they win more than 5.
Yeah. Seahawks, one of the most questionable teams next year. Lord knows what they got going on. They don't have an offensive line except Russell Wilson. We all know Russell Wilson's an animal. DK Metcalf is pretty decent too. They got edge rushers over the offseason. Where do you think they might go?
Well, the Seahawks are definitely one of the toughest teams to kind of grade because their defense in the first half of 2020 was one of the worst in the league and on pace to be one of the worst historically, especially in the pass defense. However, once Jamal Adams got healthy and he kind of found his rhythm, they were a pretty sneaky good defense. And Russell Wilson, though, he kind of took a step back last year in terms of consistency week to week. He was handed a little bit more of the duties in play calling and game planning and everything. So, though his talent is undeniable, and I think if he kind of stays into the system a little bit more, he'll bounce back. Protection, though, as you said, not good at all. Stone Forsythe is not enough to solve that. So, they're a tough one. When they're on their A game, they can be a red tier team, but it hasn't quite lined up where they're on all aspects of their team have been on that A game at the same time. So I'd probably put them at decent to good, just because it's hard to see like what to expect. They got potential, but there's some weaknesses up front that need to be addressed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, the Seahawks they're going to be good for sure. Of course, they had a very dismal season at the end. So, yeah, I think they'll be good 100%, especially when you got a guy like Russell Wilson. Hopefully, they can get some protection for him next year. But for now, we're going to list them as good. I think they're going to be good, just like how I think this next team is the Cleveland Browns. What do you got them sitting at?
Now,
Either good or elite for me.
I'm thinking they're elite too. It's still weird to say that the Browns are an elite team. I still have memories of when they went 1-31 in a 2 years time span with Hugh Jackson. But this is a new Browns team. It's a new era, and they have one of the best built rosters in the league. And now they just added some really great defensive pieces with Greg Newsome and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. So I think they go into an elite tier. They got phenomenal pair of running backs, some good weapons on offense. Baker Mayfield can be a little bit inconsistent from time to time, but when he's on, he is on, and he's a top 15 to top 10 quarterback, and that's good enough with this level roster. And they'll definitely make the playoffs. They'll be a contender to win their division, and I'd probably put them at a elite tier.
I agree 100%, man. I was waiting for you to say that elite word, but got my vote. For the people in the chat, when you guys see that the Chiefs are good, there's nothing wrong with being good on this tier list. Like they're still going to be a problem. They're still one of the best teams in the NFL, so there's nothing wrong with them being good. Elite is just like top tier. Like I think we're better than the Chiefs, 100%. Of course, they have Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, but that doesn't mean anything. You're acting like the Chiefs can't lose a football game. Like they can lose at any moment. Like they lost pieces in the offseason. Are we still watching the same offseason? No, I don't know. But
personally, I would still probably put the Chiefs in the elite tier, in my opinion, just because I do have a little bit of confidence in their O-line off-season moves. But I can see your reasoning for why they get lowered because of the concerns. So, I mean, it's to each their own. I got respect for your insight as well, man. So,
like I said,
if you want to keep them there,
no issue. But it's not going to change the fact that if they do struggle in the season, it's not going to be a culture shock. Told you so. Because I'm not that type of guy. It is what it is. Sorry.
Yeah. Like you stick to your principles, and I can respect that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all good though. You guys got the Chiefs in the elite tier for the people in the chat saying they're good. Yeah, the Chiefs aren't good. Like what? They was talking about the Washington football team. The Washington football team had a very great offseason, man.
Mm-hmm.
Really did. They stole a bunch of Colts players that I wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had that much money.
They shocked me too, but sometimes you got to spend money to actually improve in the league. Colts did not spend quite the way I was expecting, but turned out to have a really good offseason by the end of it.
Yeah. See, there's another good thing. Ann Rivera said the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. I mean, that's in the past. We're talking about next season. I think that's where it's getting confused at. Like 2 years ago has nothing to do with next year. So
yeah, like if we're talking about 2 years ago, this would be a very different list. I mean,
exactly.
Like the Colts would be lower because that was just after the Luck retirement with Brissett in 2019. The Colts would be they'd be in the yellow tier, or maybe even green.
Yeah, like the Colts would not be up there. This was a past relationship conversation. So
yeah, this would be an entirely different list if we're talking about 2 years ago. But hey, we're talking about the here and now, guys.
Yes. Oh yeah, I agree 100%, Ontario. I agree, man. We could with this roster on paper, this is pretty much a paper list. And what we see on paper, the Colts could do damage on paper right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next up is the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh. The Falcons, man. I was very disappointed in their draft. I'm not going to lie. I love the prospect that they got in Pitts at 4, but with all their roster holes, especially on the defensive side, and how little amount of like players they had. They had the least amount of players of any team in the NFL, and they had a terrible amount of cap space. I thought for sure they were going to trade back, get as many great defensive players as they could, and try and, do really well. Now they're just kind of going with similar to what the Cowboys went when they picked CeeDee Lamb. They were like, who cares about need? Let's go for the best player on our board. And sure, could Pitts become a phenomenal tight end? I have very little doubt that he's going to be at least a top 5 tight end in the NFL. That's without a question. But will he actually improve the situation for the team and get them to actually improve as like a win-loss record? Because they already got a dynamic passing offense. And you can always get more weapons, but does it move the needle enough as like getting trading back and getting like a great corner plus like some developmental pass rushers or linebackers to help cover, because Lord knows they need some help on their coverage in the back end.
Yep, 100%. So I see a lot of people putting the Falcons at the bottom tier, which I understand. What up, JDW? How you doing, man? I definitely, though. He said they have Julio on picks. I mean, you can have all the wide receivers. Just look at the Bengals for a great example. They had a quarterback, wide receivers, but no offensive line. And you wind up losing your quarterback just because of that scenario. So having wide receivers is not probably the biggest reason why you should be promoted up on this tier list.
Like, we Colts fans have learned that lesson the hard way. You can prioritize weapons, and it can be flashy, it can be fun if they hit on their picks. But even if they hit on the picks, it doesn't change the fact that if you do not have a protection for your quarterback, it's only a matter of time before they either A, get injured, B, get so rattled from that pressure that they decline in production, similar to what we saw with Carson Wentz, or C, it just makes it very toxic of an environment for the quarterback, like we're seeing with Russell Wilson right now, where they're demanding, hey, please get me some protection so I'm not physically in pain after every single game. So you got to keep the franchise quarterback happy and healthy, and the Falcons are not doing that with Matt Ryan right now, and he is no spring chicken, so that's not a good thing, and not very mobile either. So I'd probably put them at the green tier. I could see them possibly getting into the yellow, but they're going to have a lot of shootouts, and I don't know if they'll be able to win many of them with that defense.
Yeah, I think the Falcons are going to be trash next year. JW said he likes the football team, but they're way too. He said elite is pushing it. That's kind of crazy. Shout out to Frosty for the $5 donation, man. I appreciate you so much, man. One of my first viewers on my channel when I started uploading. Always remember that name. JW also said the Giants are way too freaking low. I don't know what Giants team you're looking at, but the Giants are they are nice, but they are not going to be really a threat next year, especially with that position of what they're playing.
Like, the most I could see them going up to is maybe yellow, because Saquon returning, if he comes back healthy, though, that is a big if. We just don't know with that kind of severe of an injury, and with running backs in particular, how good he's going to be post-injury. Though, personally, I love me some Saquon. This is not an anti-Saquon kind of rant or anything, because, listen, I got him in fantasy. He's my keeper. I am keeping him. I'm ride or die with Saquon. If I die, I die. That's reality with fantasy. But, oh, yes, Frosty, go Colts. But yeah, that offense, it scares me with Danny Dimes. He fumbles more than any other quarterback in the NFL. He intercepts. He throws more picks than almost any other quarterback. It's tough to win football games when your quarterback is giving the ball to the other team that much. And until he cleans it up, they're going to have a limited upside. They have a decent defense, above average, pretty good. But until Daniel Jones figures out how to keep the ball into his own team's hands, the Giants' upside is going to be limited to either green or maybe even yellow. But that's about it.
Yeah. Someone else said the Washington is not elite, man. I don't know what offseason, man. This is a Titans fan, by the way. I don't know what offseason y'all was looking at. But I know for me personally, this offseason for the Washington football team, going into next season as a prediction, they are elite as a prediction. This is all predictions. And about Daniel Jones a bit, they're at least yellow, even with Daniel Jones struggling because of the defense. Like, the Giants' defense, I can't see them winning more than maybe 4 games next year. Yeah, that's what it is. This is pretty much the paper list. This is not like actual factual things. This is pretty much what we see on paper. This is what I'm predicting.
I can see them. I see their win range going anywhere from 3 wins to around like going 8 and 9 as a record. Like, and that's me being an optimist with them. If like everything goes right, but still keeping it within like kind of relative, realism. I don't see many paths for them getting a winning record this year unless Daniel Jones just makes an incredible leap. And I can't in good faith project anything like that happening. So I think that 4 or 5 game wins projection is probably the fairest I'd go.
The Patriots on paper are much better. Don't know about that. Man,
they got a solid defense and their tight ends at least improved.
But that's so good. They don't have a number 1 running back. Their quarterback is suspect too. So, I mean, I don't really see the Patriots doing any damage.
I could see them maybe going up another tier or so just because of Bill Belichick. But that division has gotten, outside of the Jets, that division is actually pretty damn good right now. I mean, they can pick on the Jets, sure. They can get a good 2 wins out of them. But I have a hard time seeing them getting a path to the playoffs. Like, they're going to need Mac Jones to really impress or Cam to show back into MVP form for that.
Yeah. Taz asked, do you take the Dolphins over a healthy 49ers team?
Well, I think it's not a question of like Dolphins over a healthy 49ers team. It's like the question of, will the 49ers be a healthy 49ers team?
Right.
Like, I think that's what your distinction was. I mean, if they were all healthy, I'd probably give an edge to the 49ers, but they just had so many injuries that who knows if like even half of those guys are going to come back to their same level or like stay healthy.
Yeah. And that's personally why the Giants are attracted me, because we know running back longevity is probably going to be 4 to 5 years. And Barkley has one of the biggest running back injuries for running backs. So we don't know how he might play coming back. So it's going to be tough for them. Like I said, we both Barkley fans, but this is not Barkley conversation. This is the Giants. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off the Super Bowl. Where do you think they should be ranked?
I got to give Tom Brady credit. He picked a good team.
Yeah.
When he decided to leave, he picked a good situation that he got into. And everyone's saying, oh, he turned around that team. Well, it's easier to turn them around when you're not throwing 30 picks a season. Mm-hmm. That alone is an upgrade. Plus, they also improved their pass protection that year and got him Antonio Brown in the middle of the year. They improved their defense even more. I mean, and then they go out, win the Super Bowl, and they keep every single starter. And then in the draft, they just add more riches to their roster. So as much as I hate to give the man credit, I'm going to put them in elite category.
Yep.
I might be a hater, but I'm not a unrealistic person.
Yeah, it's a fact, man. We all at least this is the only thing I think me, you, and the chat is agreeing on. Everyone's agreeing the Bucks are. Thank you very much for all of us agreeing on at least one topic tonight. So I'm fine with that. The last team, one of the most questionable ones, is the Chicago Bears. Lord knows what they got going on. What are they going to look like next year?
They definitely have some upside on their defense. They have Allen Robinson, who will give Justin Fields a good weapon to throw to if and when Justin Fields gets on the field, which that's only going to be a matter of time, but they are very insistent that Andy Dalton is their quarterback.
Yep.
So, Justin Fields, he is a dynamic playmaker, but he has some questions to prove. Definitely has a chip on his shoulder, and Nagy has not shown that he's been great at developing quarterbacks outside of the Kansas City glow of Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see it going one of two ways. Either Justin Fields turns out to be everything that the Chicago Bears fans are hoping for and finally leads them back to the playoffs, or history repeats itself, similar to what happened with Trubisky, and Bears fans just keep on complaining that it isn't the good old days of the 80s.
So for me personally, if it was my choice, I would put them at meh, because we don't even know what the quarterback situation is going to be. They could be decent. They could be. But once again, they are in a tough division, and we don't know how many wins they're going to get next year. So I think they could be meh. Meh is not bad. Trash is bad. Meh is not bad. Meh is like, it's like you don't really know what you're going to see from them.
Yeah, meh and decent are they have a few question marks that we need to kind of see like before we can like really move them up or down.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean it's more so of like how confident are we that these teams are not only going to make the playoffs but could make a run.
Shout out to Posse, the Eagles fan, my guy. The Eagles trash, huh?
I mean, watch 2020.
Man, next year I don't know what they're gonna look like, man. We don't even know who the real quarterback is. We don't.
Jalen Hurts, he is definitely an interesting playmaker.
Yeah.
I liked him coming out, though I think that the spot that he landed wasn't quite the best one. And plus, he isn't Sirianni's guy, so it's kind of like a lame duck potential situation there at quarterback. Their roster definitely needs some help. They did get finally a weapon that I feel pretty confident in Devonta Smith, but that one weapon alone isn't going to fix the fact that they have a very old offensive line that needs kind of like their successors kind of brought up to, and they need to stay healthy for one. Their defense has a lot of work still needed, and they got a good running back in Miles Sanders, but he has to stay healthy. So, I mean, I love Sirianni, and I think he's going to do a lot of good for them schematically, but they need a lot of work offensively and defensively to really move up. So this is going to be a multi-year rebuild for them.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy, Colts Lawrence is in the building. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. What's up, Lucas? Ain't seen you, man. What's going on with you today?
Whew, man, it's been crazy over here. I don't know, man. I've finally gotten off of my vaccine symptoms from my second vaccine. It was a little bit hit or miss at times, got some shivers, but ultimately it wasn't too bad, just flu-like symptoms. So I'm finally recovered, and I'm like, you know what? Might as well get on the stream.
That's awesome. I'm sorry, I would have been here earlier, but to be fair, I was taking a nap. I'm old, so
Hey,
what's going on, Culture Shock? How's things been going with you? New Twitter account, dude. That sucks.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Now I'm like,
we're trying to get back to 1K, man.
It's rough.
I'm pushing for you. So what are we doing? Rating elite to holy crap, this is an ugly team?
Yeah, we pretty much doing predictions for next year. Like I said, opinion may change for everyone else, but this is pretty much what we look like. It's good that you came on because we got a film room guru in the chat now, so we can pretty much get your answers.
I'm getting a lot of feedback. This might be my. Hold on, give me a second.
I've been hearing that for a little bit too right now, so I don't know if it's me as well.
I don't know.
No, I'm getting some kind of clicks and stuff, but I don't know what in the world that is. There it is. That's what it was. Okay, I didn't realize Lucas was making those extra clicks. Do you know what that is, Lucas?
I do not know. Maybe I can log out of the chat and try and get it onto a different device potentially.
Okay.
Maybe. Are you getting the same thing, Marcus?
Yeah, I was getting clear to it going bad with you guys.
Okay, I didn't realize it was starting to, I was like, what in the world is that? I was unplugging my stuff. I was like, oh, okay, now I know what it is. It's all good though. I understand. Man, looking at some teams here where we got every. I actually don't think that the Giants are going to be trash.
Okay.
I think they'll be a May team. That's my opinion from my film. But the rest, I honestly, I don't think the Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to be good this year. Honestly, not elite. They're going to be anywhere between decent and good, depending upon how quick all these additional guys that they have between free agency and the draft are able to be cohesive with each other, because that's the big thing, right? It's about having snaps between each other, and that's a big deal. I actually like Mac Jones as a quarterback now. I think Cam Newton's going to hold him back as long as Mac Jones ain't starting, but I like Mac Jones as a quarterback. So we'll see how long. I would put him in the decent area, but that's just me. I mean, this is your guys's this is your rankings, but that's just my opinion.
we move it around, we get reviews from everyone. Shout out to Just Sell on the Twitch side. How you doing, man?
San Francisco's good. That's what San Francisco's a team that, man, San Francisco and Green Bay both are a team that can either be okay or really darn good. You know what I mean? Green Bay, it all has to do with Aaron Rodgers and whether he's going to be there or not. And San Francisco, are they going to be healthy this year? Because they showed 2 years ago when they were healthy, even with Jimmy Garoppolo, they were absolutely a fantastic, hard, tough team to beat, And you're curious, is it going to be who's going to be the starting quarterback for that team, right? That's up in the air as well. I think Jimmy is holding San Francisco back as well, because he's not much of a vertical threat in the air. Right. And I think the other quarterback could be, but I'm not sure he's really NFL ready either. So, but I like where you got the Colts, man. Is that even you're putting out there that Wentz is you're expecting Wentz to have a really big bounce back season with the Indianapolis Colts. And that's where everything hinges on with the Colts, right? Because the rest of the roster looks, oh my goodness, good, right? I mean, we're going to end up cutting so many people. A third of our defensive line will not make the 53. We have 15 players currently between defensive end and defensive tackle. 15. There's going to be guys that a lot of people like that's going to get cut, whether it's Mohammed, whether it's Teray, whether it's Banagoo, someone, because I don't think Rochelle's getting cut because he got paid a nice little amount of money. And it just feels like a Denico Autry type signing to me, Obviously, Buckner, obviously Stewart, they're not going anywhere. I don't Pay definitely ain't going anywhere. It's also going to depend upon whether or not Dio starts the season off on IR, right? Which I'm expecting him to, but we'll see. I don't think Lewis is going anywhere. I think Lewis showed enough improvement last year that I think his spot on the starting 53 is locked down. but you got a bunch of other guys. Are they keeping Stallworth, or are they going to keep the new guy from Dallas? That's a big question, right? Because both guys play very, very similar. So there's a bunch of spots on that defensive line that's just up in the air right now, and that's a position group that is that preseason is going to really have to hash out hardcore for Indy.
Yeah, man, 100%. I agree. JW, he said there's a lot of more talent that you would think for the Jaguars, and you think they'll be a half decent team. I put them in the decent category because you don't know, like I say, even before a bunch of teams that's on this list, you can have all the talent in the world, but if coaching staff and you don't have protection, you're just going to be wasting weapons. And you kind of seen that with the Bengals. They had weapons from 2011 to now, and they just wasted it because the quarterback had never had protection. You pretty much wasted AJ Green. It's the greatest example I could give of pretty much what the Jaguars are standing with. And they got a guy like Travis Etienne I've seen today. He's talking about playing wide receiver when he's a running back. Like, the Jags don't know what they want to do. So I got them at decent.
I like the Jaguars' offensive weapons. I will say that. I think offensively they are, and even if you look at their offensive line, it's not bad. It's not a bad offensive line. The big question is, Urban. What kind of coach is he going to be? We know what kind of coach he was in college. What kind of coach is he going to be in the NFL? Outside of Miles Jack and Josh Allen on that defense, who they got, right? They got Henderson and they picked up a corner, but you don't know about either one of those. Really, last year, Henderson was hit and miss all season. And the new corner, we don't know what he's going to be like in the NFL. So there's a lot of question marks in coaching, as you said, and on that defense. And as much as I love that offense, I think that offense could keep them in games. I think there'll be a lot of games where Jacksonville is in a tight game and it's, in the 30s, right? Score-wise. Yeah, shootouts. I did see where you were talking about Etnan going to wide receiver. It's not a bad idea. Because I do like James as the running back, and the undrafted free agent from last year, he was very, very good for them. But where are they going to put him at wide receiver? They've got good wide receivers. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Why don't they keep? I get where you're coming from. Keep him at running back. Use him like a Naheem Hines, right?
Exactly.
Split him out when you need to. Confuse defenses. I don't know.
You got Trevor Lawrence in there. Hold on. First, I want to say shout out to Larry Settle. He said, "Hey, what's up, guys? Hello from Tennessee. Let's go Colts." I like that. You're around with country, but you're a Colts fan. I like it. But you got a guy like Trevor Lawrence, mobile, can throw the football. You got James Robinson, Mr. 1K, and then you have Travis. You can pretty much run a freaking wildcat offense because you're Urban Meyer, and they know your system. This will pretty much work best for you, but you're talking about running at wide receiver. I think that's just wasting his skill the way he can do in the backfield with Jay Robinson as a double running back formation. That's just my thoughts of how that could work.
Man, you put him at wide receiver, and it seems like you have two players playing a very similar role in him and Chenault. Because to me, I think Chenault's a running back playing wide receiver.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, he's good at it. Don't get me wrong, but you're going to have two players playing basically a very similar role. I get oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm not going to bring it up because I don't want to bring controversy onto your stream. We already know. Because we already know we were talking about Jacksonville. You got Washington in elite.
I love the Washington's offseason, man. And I was telling people, even though people think they're ranked too high, but on paper, this is pretty much what I see on paper. Washington has one of the best rosters on paper going into next season, man. They might not play like it, but for paper wise, I think they have one of the best rosters, man.
I love their defense.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me see here.
Oh, JDW is mentioning the players on the Jaguars team.
My issue, my only issue, I don't mind I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick should be starting quarterback.
Right.
I think that's going to hold him back. Ryan's getting older, guys. You can't expect him to do what he did with Miami.
Yeah, playing for the year too.
You can't expect him to continue doing that, in my opinion. They do need to get themselves a better quarterback. I get that they got Tyler Heineke, who looked good, right there at the end of the season when he had to come in. I loved him. I thought he played very, very well.
I was impressed.
Yeah, me too. I was too, but I don't know. I mean, he's been in the NFL a little bit, so why haven't we seen more of him? That was kind of something I was a little like, why was he sitting behind a guy who's not even on the Washington football team anymore? When he should have been starting, in my opinion. I get that he might have been behind Alex Smith because Alex Smith is a vetted pro who Alex Smith retired now, right?
Yep, he retired
after he was let go. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love their defense is nasty. That front four, that defensive line is probably top 3 in the NFL in pass rush, between Chase Young and Sweat and Daron Payne and John Allen. Oh my goodness, they're nasty. They look as good as I hope the Colts end up looking with Pay, when he's out there. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. W said Fitz is an amazing step in guy, not for all season kind of guy. When he came in for Tua, but when he starts a few games, he starts to hurt. He can start to Tua. Yeah, so he says the 4 TDs or 4 interceptions for Fitz.
right. You're either getting
he's a road quarterback, man. Road quarterback. He loves to travel. Him and that beard.
Yep. He's great for a team that has a young rookie quarterback that needs to sit and learn behind. That's why, I'm surprised some of these other teams, I think Jacksonville should have grabbed him. Or maybe the Eagles, right? Yeah, or the Niners, and just trade Garoppolo off and have Fitz magic there for their young quarterback to learn behind and kind of mentor behind. But I don't know. I like the coaching staff there. I think Ron Rivera is freaking fantastic. Who expected the Washington football team after the offseason they had and all the controversy they had to win the division? No one. Yeah. No one.
100%. That's where I stand. Nobody's seen this coming, man. And they went out there, changed the culture, and went out there and actually played some good football.
Dallas, I like where you got Dallas. I think their offense is fantastic. Their defense, again, where's it at? They don't have one. Nope. I think them and Seattle are on very similar situations. The only difference is Seattle's got a couple good players on their defense, and Dallas, the guys who were supposed to be good, didn't step up last year at all, right? Whereas like Seattle, at least Adams, when they got him, he played his butt off for him, and then they went out and got was it Carlos Dunlap, I believe, to help with their pass rush. So, I mean, but they did lose both Griffins, I think, right? This offseason. They still have probably the best Mike linebacker in football, though. Wagner. So
100%.
Miami's going to be tough depending upon Tua. Oh God, they got a great defense, and then they went and got Phillips to go with them. Oh man, I mean,
good. Good.
Oh geez.
To the Jets, but they can still put up a problem. I'm pretty sure they can still put up a fight.
Yeah.
I put the Cardinals at decent because a lot of people don't believe in the roster, paper-wise, unlike me. So it's kind of sad. But
who?
The Cardinals, Arizona.
I actually believe in their roster. I think they're going to be a good team.
Thank you.
I think they're going to be a very good team. I think I've said this multiple times. I think they're built like the 2000s Colts. They have a very explosive offense. Now, I'm not saying Murray is Peyton Manning by any means because, they're not even the same style of quarterback, but there's a ton of weapons. Murray can throw the football. He can scramble. I think they still got Drake there running the football, right? If I remember correctly. And they're built basically to get a lead. And then now that they got J.J. Watt, they got Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt booking in that pass rush. Yeah.
Chandler Jones had a very quiet, impressive season last year. Nobody talks about.
No, they don't talk about him, and yet he's one of the better defensive ends in football.
Yep, one of the best to do it, man. It's a guy that can go to any system and pretty much produce.
As a matter of fact, I think Dio was comped to Chandler Jones by a few people. Yeah.
Got the wingspan. He can do it, man. Just take time. Get him in that room with Robert Mathis, man. Get him in there.
Yep.
Get the moves from the edge rush to put him in the interior. I feel like he can be a big threat. He could be the next J.J. Swat, swatting all those footballs from those passes coming across the middle. He can use those arms, man.
Yep.
He said Brian Burns is extremely underrated as well. But yeah, that offense, man, they went out there and got A.J. Green. They drafted Rondale Moore. They got DeAndre Hopkins. I'm like, man, this team is so freaking loaded, man. This Cardinals team is so loaded.
They still have Christian Kirk too.
Exactly.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know any other team besides the Rams maybe that can guard all those weapons with all the secondaries. Man.
Yeah. I like that you have the Rams elite. I have them.
I had to move them because I had them at good, but I had to move them because everybody was giving me crap.
I think you're not sold on Stafford.
I love Stafford. I wanted him in Indy, but it's like he's in a new system. He's in LA. Like, how is that going to work out? Of course, you got all the weapons, but it's going to take time for him to understand what the system is like and everything. So you can't just automatically put him at elite for the Rams struggling with the quarterback.
Well, the Rams are a playoff team year in, year out anyhow. So, and it's not like last year, where we didn't have an all season. At least they're going to have training camp. They're going to have preseasons. They're going to have all that for him to kind of get in rhythm with his guys and his offensive line and everything of that nature and learn Sean McVay's system. So, I think he'll be okay starting out. I think he'll be stupidly good with that team by week 6.
I sure hope so. Like I said, I love Stafford, so hopefully he gets the workout. He should have been in Indy, but I'm not mad. Not mad at all. Not mad one bit. Another team that people was giving me crap for was the Packers, putting them at decent. I only put them there because we don't know who's playing quarterback. That's the only reason I put them in the middle. Yeah.
I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is there, they jump immediately, but you don't know, It looks like, to me, that whole Rodgers isn't going to be there is blown up a little bit out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll still be there because it sounds like he does want to stay. He wants that contract. He just hasn't gotten the contract offer that he wants yet, but they're still talking. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't expect Rodgers. I mean, I'd say more than 3/4 of the NFL would give up a first-round pick easy in a heartbeat for Aaron Rodgers.
What?
Yeah. I think
everybody would be lucky to have Rodgers.
Yeah. There's only a handful of teams that would not do that, like the Chiefs. I mean, there's very few teams would not do that. Even at his age, I mean, he just won the MVP for a reason. He took a team that everybody said needed more talent, and then Rodgers said, "Screw it, I'm gonna make them good," and he did.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the Chargers, man? I got them in the middle.
They are a middling team. It really depends on whether you think Justin Herbert can make that step or not.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can. Their defense, if they stay healthy, is good. They got a great safety. They got a good corner. They got great pass rusher. They've got talent at every level of that defense. Granted, some holes, not a lot of depth, but high-end talent at each level. And offensively, they got guys there. They got weapons. But Herbert needs to step up. I think the offensive play caller needs to mix things up a little bit better and make life a little easier for Herbert. When Herbert was drafted, I was not high on Herbert. I said he was probably the most NFL ruddy quarterback in that draft last year, but I thought he was at his ceiling walking in. I didn't think he was going to get any better than what you were going to see day one. And this year, I'm going to find out if I'm right. Is he going to be better than what he was last year? Are we going to see improvements in different parts of his game? I don't know. We'll see. Welcome back, Lucas. I don't hear all that gerbil stuff anymore, man.
Do you hear it now with me speaking, or is that just the old stuff?
Nope, don't hear it.
Don't hear it.
The headphones do the trick.
Let's go.
All right. Awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome.
We're in here talking about the Chargers right now and Justin Herbert. He said that he didn't see the potential that Herbert had, but I kind of liked it. Herbert's one of those quarterbacks that'll go out there and show you that he can do it instead of just, living up to the expectations, man. He's one of those guys that I really have faith in that can be one of the next quarterbacks coming up, man. Herbert's really good. And I have faith in the Chargers, man. I hope they figure it out.
Yeah, the Chargers, I do really like what Herbert showed in his first year. I had some doubts about him coming out, but I really liked what he showed last year. He was the most impressive rookie quarterback outside of Joe Burrow, and especially once Joe Burrow went down, that kind of disqualified him from the Rookie of the Year candidacy. But the Chargers, they're always a tough team to get a read on just because of how snake-bitten they are. I mean, on paper, they could be one of the best teams. They have some elite talent at some of the most key positions, and they have some pretty solid talent throughout the rest of their roster at some areas, though offensive line does need quite a bit of work, though I think they've been making some strides, especially in the draft this year. But again,
quietly, a lot of people don't realize this, but they've been a top 10 offense and defense the last 3 years straight. And yet
still,
it's quiet and they don't get the playoffs or nothing, because they're in that division. It's that division. It's the toughest division, second toughest now. It used to be the toughest, and now the AFC North became the toughest, in my opinion. But
I think those two are some of the toughest, though. I personally see the NFC West as the toughest division.
It is.
In football.
I was talking in the AFC,
but the
NFC West is by far the toughest in the NFL.
Yeah, the fourth best team in the NFC West could be a division leader in almost any other division. Almost any other. At the very least, would be a wild card team.
In the NFC. Yeah. The AFC, Baltimore's pretty good. The Browns, pretty solid. Pittsburgh, you don't know because you don't know what Ben Roethlisberger is going to be like. The Bills right now are fantastic. I like what the Patriots are doing. I know that's kind of like hush tones with the Colts Nation, but to be fair, Tom Brady's not there no more. Peyton Manning's not with the Colts. It's not a rivalry anymore. Not really.
My shirt would like to disagree with you there. If we're on the topic of the Colts-Patriots rivalry, my shirt is very appropriate for this occasion.
I think honestly, I think that currently right now, I think the Ravens are more of a rivalry with the Colts than the Patriots, because the Ravens have consistently came in and beat us when we should have beat them.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing? But yeah, go ahead.
And then the AFC West, the Cardinals, I don't, they're kind of built like the Chiefs, but I don't think they're quite as good as the Chiefs yet.
Yeah,
they're solid though.
Yeah, they really are, man. Like, Another team that got a little talk about was the Bengals. I put them at meh. Look, man, I'm an LSU fan. I love Joe Burrow, but there's a lot of question marks around the Bengals. Let me get both of your inputs. Lawrence, you can go first about the Bengals.
How the hell do you not get Sewell?
Yes.
How you go get a wide receiver just because he used to be thrown to by Burrow? That's just the dumb. He had weapons. He had good weapons. And look what it got him, on his back with a busted knee. How you not fix that offensive line? He gonna be hurt by week 4.
Oh. Yeah, man.
I'd say maybe hurt by week 6. I'm more of an optimist than Law.
Oh, you're more optimistic than me. Okay.
But yeah, I completely agree with you, man. I was saying, they're making the same mistakes they've been making for decades. I mean, they did the same with Akili Smith. They did the same thing with Carson Palmer, though they did finally kind of start to address that a little bit with Andy Dalton early on. But then guess what? As soon as they decide, you know what? Andy Dalton's good without an offensive line. What happens? He's not good without an offensive line. His career goes down the tubes. And then they bring in Joe Burrow, the new franchise savior, the kid from Athens who's going to save the franchise and make them finally win a fucking playoff game for once.
And then they decide to take the Ryan Grigson way. They decided to go the Ryan Grigson route of building around him. Let's give him all the weapons and no offensive line. Let's see how long his career lasts.
And I love Chase. I really do. Great prospect coming out. But he does not move the needle for the team as much of an offensive line. I mean, and I went to Xavier University. I know a lot of Bengals fans. Some of them are my dear, dear friends. And some of them were definitely Team Chase. But I was telling them constantly, get Sewell. Learn from the lessons that the Colts failed to do. Address your offensive line. I don't care if Jonah Williams is there. I don't care if Riley Reif is there for a 1-year deal plus a void year. The dude's probably going to leave after the 1 year.
Yeah.
Maybe, if you're lucky, he sticks around for 2, but he's a short-term guy. You can move someone into guard, but for God's sakes, get the best 5 offensive linemen you can find, put them in front of Burrow, and save his career. Like, he's already had one possible, career-altering injury. If you survive this season without him getting an injury, it's a miracle. All right, hallelujah, praise whatever God you worship, but come on, guys, just give him some offensive line help. Interior. I know it's the ugly, no one wants to talk about interior offensive line, but it's one of the worst interior offensive lines in the NFL. And as soon as you have an actually somewhat decent defensive tackle who can pass rush, he's going to be obliterating Joe Burrow's front teeth left and right. He's going to be putting so many stains on that jersey. I swear you're going to need to invest in some Tide, all right?
Right. Well, right now, the guy the Chase who they drafted, there's a guy in the comment section right now wishes that his team had actually drafted him granted they did get themselves a wide receiver, but it wasn't Chase. But man, you could take a playbook out of the Steelers and out of the Ravens, right? The reason why they are a powerhouse teams for as long as they've been is because they've had offensive lines. They've been able to protect their quarterbacks. They've been able to run the football. Now, you got this great running back. You got this quarterback that you believe is a future. I'm going to kill my cat. He's tugging on the cord of my headset, man. It's a cord. Holy crap.
Dogs for the win, man. Dogs for the win.
Well, my cat doesn't chew my carpet stairs and stuff either. I had a dog that he had to gone. But yeah, when you have all that offensive firepower already on that team, I mean, good Lord, you got Higgins, you got these guys, you got that running back, you got everything, you got the quarterback. He just got sitting on that throne with a cigar and that big old scar right down the middle of his leg. And you can't look at that and go, we need to do something about that, right? I mean, I wouldn't have blamed them if they had traded back into the first round and picked up more picks to invest heavier into the offensive line. Because the NFL today, it's not just about the pass rush on the outside. You nailed it right on the head, Lucas. Those defensive tackles, guys like Donald, guys like Buckner coming up the middle, those are the scariest things a quarterback can see coming at him. Off the edge, as long as your guards and center got that, he could step right up and avoid that pass rush. But they're coming right at him. Where do you go?
Scramble around.
Yeah.
You have to try and break, contain, and try and throw on the run, which puts you in a whole different level of danger as well.
Exactly, man. I don't understand the Bengals front office and the GM. That just makes no sense at all to me.
The Bengals front office is the most understaffed in the NFL. I've seen firsthand in terms of how many people that they hire for internships, how many people they actually hire for full-time jobs. They are the most understaffed. It comes down to their owner's cheapness at this point. Like he cuts the corner at nearly every single thing he can, but even then, that doesn't excuse the fact that they decided to go for a wide receiver over the clear and obvious need of offensive line. And heck, sure, like if they went for a franchise pass rusher, which they also desperately need, that would be one thing. But in this class, there was no surefire guy. There was no Myles Garrett. There was no Joey Bosa. Kwity Paye, I love him. I love him for the Colts, and I think he could be a freak. But he's a freak athlete who still needs a little bit of development. There was Jalen Phillips, who was a great, phenomenal producer and had all the tools that you wanted. Great pass rush moves, very great athlete. However, his injury history is frankly career-threatening. Like there was no clear-cut guy that you would have said, hey, I get this guy. I am set at pass rush for years to come. There wasn't any obvious candidate for that at the 5 spot. So, of course, they should have gone Sewell. And then to be devil's advocate, they did go offensive line in the second round, but they got the wrong one, in my opinion, as well.
Mm-hmm.
They went for a raw guy who they felt could go from tackle to guard in Jackson Carman from Clemson. And I like Carman as a developmental tackle, but the Bengals do not know how to develop offensive linemen. They've shown this year in and year out. They can't coach offensive linemen up. You give him a toolsy guy, he's not going to learn what he needs to get to that next level. And so Jackson Carman would have been a great fit for the Colts if they decided to go for a short-term left tackle and then have him sit behind him. But for the Bengals to put in at their starting guard, not as good of an option as them getting, I don't know, Samuel Cosmi, who was on the board. They could have stayed back. They actually traded back and missed out on some amazing tackle prospects, or even a guard prospect like Wyatt Davis from their own backyard in Ohio State. They decided
there was a tackle that was picked up that I think would have been an absolute phenomenal guard. All kind of power in the world. I can't remember what his name was. I think he got picked up in the 3rd.
Was it Tevin Jenkins? He was in the 2nd.
Second, Tevin Jenkins. I think
yes.
Tevin Jenkins. I legitimately think
he was available too.
Nelson.
He was available too.
I think he's baby Quentin Nelson at guard. That dude is monstrous in the power game. Monstrous. He gets his hands on you, you're done. The Bengals need an attitude-adjusting offensive lineman like that on their team. That is someone that could have got him in the second round, and could have completely changed the attitude of the offensive line. Sometimes it's not just enough to have skill at your position. You got to have the right attitude at that position too. And when you're on the D line and the O line, you got to have that I'm going to maul you every down attitude. Otherwise, you're going to get blown up at some point.
And Rivera, you hit the money on the first round pick for them. They went sexy, and they didn't get what they actually needed. Very accurate assessment right there, Ann.
It reminds me of the Indianapolis Colts drafting Philip Dorsett. Okay.
Oh, don't get me started. I almost walked into
Am I wrong though?
You aren't wrong.
I remember Malcolm Brown being right there, and I was like, "Get him!" And then I heard they select Philip Dorsett, and I was like, "What?"
Hey, to Philip Dorsett's credit, he got us Jacoby Brissett in the trade. That's the best I can say about the pick. That's the bright side, and it's not even that bright.
Well, I mean, Dorsett is still playing in the NFL, so I'll give him that.
He has a role, but
yeah,
for a first-round pick, bust.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By far.
Got him too early, man. And it was I think there was Tyler Lockett in that draft that we could have got. That wasn't Philip Dorsett, and we wasted. And Tyler Lockett's still playing, and we got to see him week 1. So, see
dude, there was 12 wide receivers drafted before T.Y. Hilton. All right, and none of them were as good as T.Y. Hilton was. That kind of stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? But when you go for sexy over not just need, but BPA need. You know what I mean? Because you could have legitimately went BPA need there and got Sewell instead of Chase, and it would have been, no one would have argued with it. Everybody would have said that is an A pick right there for the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, but no. And even trading back to get more offensive linemen later would have been an A trade, in my opinion. But no.
Or them actually getting the right offensive lineman in the second round, like Tevin Jenkins, or as we actually know him in our real life, Michael Terezas. If for those of you who don't know, one of our good buddies, Michael, looks scarily like
a little bit, yeah,
like Tevin Jenkins.
Yep. I'm gonna run and grab me a soda real fast. I'll be right back. And yes, I say soda, and I'm still from Indiana, so I don't care. All right,
all right, go get your pop.
Yeah, man. Well, let's go ahead and talk about another team that could be a real, I say, threat to next year. So we just got finished talking about the Bengals, who pretty much took the draft by storm and didn't know what was going on. So another team that I could think we can start talking about now is, since we got time, the Baltimore Ravens, right? Baltimore Ravens, everyone talks about how Lamar needs to work on throwing the football and all this good jazz. And I'm telling people, like, you don't need Lamar Jackson to throw 400 yards for them to win a football game. I said this even on the last stream. The Ravens, the only way they lose is if they beat themselves. But the Ravens don't need that because they have a dual threat of quarterback. They're going to be scary every time you see them. You can draw up the best game plan in the world and still lose to this team. So let me get your thoughts first, since he just came back with his pop. Lawrence, let me get your whole thoughts on the Baltimore Ravens, man.
Oh, because a certain person's in the chat? Is that why?
No, we just going through the team. We brought up the Bengals, and we thought about how their owner is just selling on draft picks and things like that in protection for Burrow. And one of those teams that they happen to play is Baltimore Ravens. So you can give me your thoughts.
I got a ton of thoughts on Baltimore, but go ahead, Lucas.
All right. So I actually went to the draft this year in person, and I went with one of my best buds who is a Ravens fan. We mutually bond over our mutual love of the Baltimore Colts, our middle ground, if you will. And we had a lot of opinions on the Ravens draft. The first pick, I absolutely loved.
Yep.
Rashad Bateman finally giving a true, actual number one receiver for Lamar Jackson was an absolute great move. I thought he could have been a top 20 pick potentially. And the fact that they got him where they got him was very, very smart of a draft. However, the second pick, I was not as big of a fan of. Owe, he has all the physical tools you would want in a pass rusher. Let's get that out of the way. And I love me a guy who can beat you with just raw like physicality and speed. However, he doesn't win with that raw athleticism in the pass rush because he can't do any single move that I can even conceive. The man cannot get separation from offensive line in pass sets, especially in 2020. You saw it on tape. He didn't get a single sack. Pressures didn't get much more than that. He is a project, yeah. And I did like the landing spot for him. It's a good system. They got good coaches, and if he can develop there, it could be really, really awesome. However, it's going to be a long-term thing. You're going to have to wait for like 3, 4, maybe even 5 years of just development and hope that he can learn to be an actual pass rusher. Maybe he is good situationally as a run defender in the interim, but on tape, he was only winning through sheer athleticism of like worse offensive linemen. In the NFL, he's not going to be able to get through that. He's not going to be able to rely only on that because these tackles are definitely better at like defending against these ultra athletic guys. And everyone talks about that 40 time. That was absolutely insane. Defensive ends aren't going to be running 40 yards down the field unless they're trying to chase after a guy. What's more important is that 10-yard, 20-yard split. And it was still really good, but there were some other guys out there who had even better 10 and 20-yard splits, and they actually had pass rush moves. So I actually had Owe as a outside of the top 50 on my board. I had him as like a third-round pick, but I knew that some team in the first round was going to take that chance just based off of that athleticism. And so for 2021, he is not going to be an impact. Maybe down the line in 2024, we'll see. But their pass rush is definitely going to take a step back right now, losing Judon. Their weapons are going to be scary in the passing game. And of course, the running game is going to be their bread and butter. They have the best rushing attack in the league, especially with J.K. Dobbins taking the next step next year in his second year.
I think Mark Ingram's off the team now, right? He's somewhere else.
He's with the Texans.
Yeah.
So we get to see Mark Ingram more. I'm actually looking forward to that. Yeah. And then there's Gus Edwards, Gus the Bus.
Mm-hmm.
He's very efficient, good thunder and lightning mix with him and J.K. Dobbins. And, of course, that option RPO play with Lamar Jackson is just easy money on defenses. So I'd say it's going to be very fun to watch their offense. Their defense secondary is still really, really strong, but their pass rush going to be a little bit more hit or miss this year.
All right, film room, you're up. Film room guru Lawrence, what's your thought on the Ravens, man?
Speaking of film room, I think Hollywood can be a number one receiver. All right. I honestly, you know how many times I looked at the games on the All-22 last year and watched Hollywood running wide open down the field and Lamar just didn't see him?
Yep.
It's scary. I mean, it's scary because and I don't think it's Lamar's fault. Okay. I think it's the play calling, because the play calling that is happening, they've got him going through certain progressions at specific times, looking at the wrong guys at the wrong times during his progressions. That's the problem. Okay. Because I have noticed he looks at tight ends first, then he'll kind of eyeball over to the flat, to the running backs before he looks at guys going downfield. Hollywood's running all the way down the field half the time, and then by then it's too late for him to look over there because he's running a go route too daggone much, right?
Yep.
You let him run a quick 5-yard post cut, all right, and hit him on a crossing pattern or something. I will guarantee. How many times have you seen Lamar Jackson take that option, keep it, turn around, and then instantaneously, whenever he throws, it's Hollywood running across the field, not going vertical. It's when he's running across the field because no one's able to keep up with him while he's going horizontally. Hit this man early and quick. All right. That's why I think Hollywood has dropped a couple balls. I know It's happened. Everybody does it at their point. And, it's just something he's got to work on. Okay. I'm okay with the draft pick. That's going to put a little bit more pressure, but the play calling needs to be better for this team. Whoever is teaching Lamar how to go through his progressions on specific calls needs to do a better job of doing that. That's that. Because I've watched Lamar can put touch on the ball, or he could put a line on that ball. Either one, and he could do it at good specific points. Tight ends let him down big time last year. You know how many drops there was in that Kansas City game? Oh my God! All right, and they're supposed to be one of the strengths. What the heck, And it sucked watching that. As a Colts fan, I was watching this game going, oh my God, they're making him look bad. He's got to make himself look better by dropping 10 pounds at halftime, to come back in and be able to do everything with his legs, But yeah, look, I think my biggest question, and if Ravens can answer this for me, I'm curious, why did they let go of their center? Because I thought he was playing I thought Matt Skura played well. He had a couple snaps that were bad. Okay, I get that. But fundamental wise, and what he does on that line is very, very, very good. I think he's a top 10 center in the league, when it comes to actual, pass blocking, run blocking. And I don't understand why they let him go, unless it was just because he had a couple bad snaps last year that turned into turnovers.
Mm-hmm. It might have been a possible money concern. It could have been a cap concern. I'm not quite familiar with the Ravens cap situation. I don't know. It was very, very weird to see. I would have thought they would have wanted to kept that offensive line intact as much as they could.
And then they let go a bunch of people this offseason.
Yeah. they let go of Skura. They traded away Orlando Brown. And then it was really weird to not see them address offensive line in the draft. His deal was up. Yeah, so he's coming off an injury. Didn't know he was going to get the same get off. I mean, kind of makes sense a little bit. But even still, even after that, and even after the Orlando Brown trade, why didn't they go for an offensive lineman? I mean, I get that Lamar can run. He can evade a lot of different guys. He will scramble for God knows how long before he either decides to run or throw. But you don't have to make him scramble every single time. And I've been really scared about Lamar Jackson's future in the NFL because he is a phenomenal talent, but every time I see him running, I get RG3 vibes. I am
a little worried.
I'm scared that it all takes is one hit. If he doesn't see a guy coming, I get the game's changed with how you hit quarterbacks now, but there's still a few guys out there who will lay a quarterback out. Doesn't matter where he's at. Yeah. And all it takes is one bad tackle.
One bad Vontaze Burfict hit, and then it's over, right? I mean, it's true. Vontaze Burfict is one of the nastiest, dirtiest players I've ever seen. And he's still playing in the NFL.
Shockingly, yes. Mm-hmm.
To Ravens' point, I will give him credit. The Ravens and the Patriots are two of the best offensive line producing teams in the NFL. They seem to be able to shuck an ear of corn and pull a freaking Pro Bowl offensive lineman out of it, right? I don't know. It's kind of like, Chris Ballard being able to open up the cabinet and go, oh, look, a running back. I mean, it's true. Some teams, some scouting departments are just much better at getting guys at different levels of the draft than others. And the Ravens are good at getting offensive linemen. So I can understand that. But man, when you I think you dropped 3 starters this offseason, I think, on that offensive line. And that's a scary proposition when you got Lamar Jackson and a running game that you're leaning on so heavy. But hey, quite frankly, I still have faith in them. I think they'll still do well. Like I said, because they do just pull offensive linemen out of their butt and they play well. So we'll see how they do this year. It'll be interesting. What is that, week 5, right?
Yeah, that's week 5.
Yeah, that'll be that's a game I have circled. I've had circled all year.
I'm looking forward to that too,
Just
especially
okay.
hoping that there isn't a crazy non-interception called an interception again. That play call was, oh my gosh, that was one of the worst play calls I've seen since that one certain no call pass interference or roughing the wide receiver on an NFC Championship game. Like, that was bad.
Yeah, man. That game's going to have a lot on it, man. It's going to bring a lot of views because we don't know how it'll go. It can go either way when we match up, and that's going to be the most exciting part about it. So, all credits due with the Ravens, man. They got my respect. Hopefully they can figure it out, take that next step, and probably shut up these haters and claim that division and don't have to worry about any threats because we know how back in the 2 years ago that division go anyway. Right now, at this moment, I think that pretty much theirs to win. So it's all on how they perform.
I think they'll be up there. It's them and the Browns. Those are the top 2 teams. Steelers, Big Ben, he's going to have to prove that he still has it, and at this point, I don't think he does.
And the backups ain't got it. I'll guarantee that.
Oh
no! My God!
Oh no!
That team is based around that defense. It's about that defense getting turnovers and forcing punts and giving your the Steelers offense chance after chance after chance after chance. That's what that team is based around. And if they get hurt, if TJ Watt gets hurt or something like that, the team's going to go downhill quick.
Yeah. We can actually start talking about them, and then we'll go up to the team that pretty much picked up a guy that they lost. We could talk about the Steelers, and then we'll bring up the Titans with Bud Dupree. But the Steelers, they took a step back this offseason, man. Lost a few pieces. I feel like most of how that offseason went is after the news when Ben Roethlisberger announced he was coming back. I feel like most of the players got tired of it, and I think that they lost a lot of pieces for the Steelers, man. So we don't know how they're going to perform this year. Hopefully they figure it out. They went to got Najee Harris. So he's going to be producing a lot. Most people are comparing him to Le'Veon Bell's production, and that's how he'll transpire. But we'll see how that goes. Lawrence, you can go first. What do you think of how the Steelers are going to look out this year?
I'm giving the over-under of week 9 before we see Dwayne Haskins come in at quarterback.
That's a good that might happen. And I hate to put it out that way, but it might truly be that way.
I know, because I don't know of any Steelers fan that would want Mason Rudolph back there because he was not good last year. I mean, he wasn't, or not last year, but the year before. He was. If he was, he wouldn't have been back and forth consistently with the other guy, right? I mean, their defense is nasty. That trade when they got Fitzpatrick, that made them just that much better. I mean, Fitzpatrick's been an absolute.
It was against us. That's when they took off.
Yeah. Minka is a nasty safety, man. He has a little bit of Troy Polamalu in him, I think. Being able, just that nose for the football. They got a good pass rush. Very similar in the way that the Ravens play the D. They like to run a lot of blitzes and come at you from different angles and hide what they're doing. I think the Ravens and the Steelers are both defensively very similar in that aspect. I think they've done it so much against each other that I think they just became the masters at it of the NFL. I mean, both those teams are so good at doing that.
All right,
later.
man. Appreciate you stopping by, Marsh, man. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
I'm glad they're moving on. They moved on from Connor. Not that he was a bad running back. He just wasn't the running back that they needed. He could not stay healthy. He's one more concussion away from being done. Okay. At least that's my thought. I mean, the man seems like he gets a concussion every time he steps out of bed. Uh, they've got weapons. I mean, good Lord. Claypool, there that first 10 weeks of the season, Claypool looked like an unstoppable beast, didn't he?
Man, it was the schedule, man. The schedule that they played, he had no choice but to go crazy. And the first team he went crazy against was the Jets, I believe. And that
Yeah.
was pretty much his mark on the season. And then after you seeing the defense started losing talent with the health, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when Claypool started going invisible. And then the Steelers just pulled the Steelers. And
Yeah.
I called it. I said right after, I forgot what week it was, I said they're pretty much going to lose every game after this week. And I was correct.
All right. I want to know who was more shocked between the three of us and everybody in the chat when you got the news that Ben Roethlisberger got an extension.
Like, I understand you love the franchise quarterback, but come on, man. Come on. There's no way. It's no way.
It's kind of, it's almost as bad as like if the Saints had extended Drew Brees.
Right?
Yeah, you know, and no offense, Drew Brees is great the first 8 weeks of the season, but he, his arm completely disappears after then, and it's just because he's gotten older. And Ben went through that surgery, and generally Tommy John surgeries nowadays, because of the way it happens, it makes you actually stronger. But on later, it gives you more strength, but I'm assuming that's better for 30-year-old people, not almost 40-year-old people, right? I mean, come on, man. So they, I think, messed up and going and grabbing Haskins and expecting him to be their future. They should have leaned in the draft this year, or went out and maybe traded for somebody, good Lord, could you imagine? Honestly, I think they should have looked at the Jets and been like, hey, can we get Darnold off of you? Because I think Darnold on the Pittsburgh Steelers would have been nasty. So, I mean, I think he's going to do okay. I think he's going to do better in Carolina.
Yeah.
But I think he'd have been an even better quarterback in Pittsburgh, But no, I don't see the Steelers fighting with Baltimore and Cleveland this year for the NFC North at all. I see them in 9-win team max.
You got any input on that, Lucas, before we get on to our last topic before the end of the night?
Yeah, the Steelers, they're definitely the third fiddle in the AFC North. They have weapons. They have a defense. They now have a good running back. But Big Ben, so many questions about. And at this point, like you said, that Tommy John injury, you can come back from it even stronger if you're a 30-year-old. But at 40, I'm not betting on it, And again, I know it seems like I talk about it with almost every single team, but what about the offensive line? It got even worse. It had some good pass blocking before, but now they got retirements with Pouncey. They no longer have Villanueva.
I think they're better off without Villanueva. I don't know if you've seen his film last year, but it was bad.
True, though they didn't exactly replace him with much as well. That's the problem.
Yeah.
The only way they could have got worse is if Raven Clark took over for him. I mean, he was pretty bad at times.
True. It was a brutal tape at times. I think they'd need to protect Big Ben at this stage of his career. Like, he was never really a mobile guy, but he could shred guys off and still deliver a big deep bomb. Now he can't deliver the deep bomb, and at his age, he's probably not shedding many tackles. In general, you want to protect your franchise quarterback, and with all those weapons and the run game, like, I get the run game was needed to be upgraded, but you could have gotten an offensive lineman in that first round and then came back and got maybe like Javonte Williams in the second if you needed a running back. Might not have been as good as Najee Harris, but would have been really, really close, better value, and you actually would have addressed a bigger need that affects you more on game days. like you said, they definitely do need to be looking into a quarterback long term. However, apparently that long-term quarterback is Big Ben, as we saw, which baffles all of us. I don't think that Dwayne Haskins will be getting in to the field before he gets into a strip club, though. So,
yeah.
I mean, Dwayne Haskins lost his job to a broken leg. You know, I mean, think about that. That's no disrespect to Alex Smith because I have an immense amount of just admiration for that man coming back and playing football. But if you lose your job to Alex Smith, who can't move at all very well anymore, and you're just every time he takes a snap, you're scared to death, right? You lose your job to him. They actually feel better about having Alex Smith out there at quarterback than you. Why in the world did you go get him?
Well, that's organizations for you. But hopefully Haskins. I mean, if he does see the field, who knows what he might do? But I'm not so sold on Haskins. But hey, best of luck to Pittsburgh. Last topic of discussion. We're not going to address the Julio thing because it's not happening. We're going to talk about the Titans before we get up out of here. That's one of the teams that has the biggest question marks due to Derrick Henry and him being pretty much unstoppable. But Ryan Tannehill's suspect when it comes to playing competitive teams. So, and if their defense took a step back, even though they added pass rush, they lost a lot in the secondary. So, Lawrence, you can go first. How do you think the Titans will perform next year?
I think the Titans do take a step back, only because they're not as explosive on offense as they once was. They still have A.J. Brown. He's a phenomenal receiver, but they don't have that vertical threat in Davis no more. They don't have Jonnu Smith to open up the middle of the field. That is a huge, huge hit for this team. Okay? Huge hit. Now, can you pretty much say Derrick Henry's getting 100 yards every game? Yes. I mean, the man, he's getting anywhere between 100 and 250 yards every game, it seems like. So I get that, but you got to be able to do more than just run the football to win a game. I like Ryan Tannehill. I think Ryan Tannehill is a very good quarterback. He sucked because he was in Miami and he had freaking Adam Gase as his coach. Okay. Adam Gase is the quarterback killing coach of the NFL, period. End of discussion. All right. You've seen it with Tannehill. You've seen it with Darnold, and God help whoever he's with now. I can't remember. I think he was signed as an offensive coordinator somewhere. But they lost a few people. They picked up a couple pass rushers, but they're questionable. One of them we all know, right? Danico Autry. He's pushing. He's over 30 now.
Mm-hmm.
He's at that point where his production can start to drop. They got another guy who's supposed to be good, but we haven't seen him as the number one main pass rusher yet. He's had guys opposite of him, like a certain TJ Watt. So let's see what he could do as the main man. That's what I want to know. So I don't see them winning the AFC. I think that Tennessee's going to be kind of a 1.5 trick pony this year, and they're still suspect up the gut. So I think, in all honesty, I see them as a 9-win team as well.
All right, Lucas, go ahead and give us your input on that.
You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was worried about the popping sound return and then everything. Yeah. Anyways, I agree with Law's assessment that they're going to have a tough time replicating their offensive success that they had last year with missing Jonnu and missing Corey. They replaced Corey with Josh Reynolds, who was always like the third or fourth option in the Rams, which, to be fair, it's hard to get many snaps with those guys. But Reynolds, he hasn't really shown a whole lot in his career in terms of being like the number 2 guy in an offense. And at this point in his career, it's hard to kind of take that leap. It happens sometimes, but not very often. I don't see him having a crazy like Brandon Lloyd out of nowhere having an insane year. So they're definitely going to struggle a little bit on offense to replicate that. And also, Derrick Henry, he's not a spring chicken. I mean, he's been getting a lot of usage over these last 2 years. He's at that age 27 where, sure, he still is in that prime, but it's getting a little bit close to the end, and you got to start like keeping your eye out for a little bit of regression. Maybe not falling quite off the entire cliff, but injuries can pop up a lot during this time in running backs' careers. Production declines a little bit. And if he's not the number one best like rushing threat in the NFL, if he's like, let's say, top 5 or 10, that alone is just devastating to the Titans offense in terms of their efficiency and their ability to execute play action. And as William just noted, their schedule is really, really tough. I went through their schedule yesterday, and I could see them only going 9-8. I could maybe see them going 10-7, but that's kind of a stretch at this point.
It's similar to the Colts. I mean, they have the minus for them is they have Kansas City as compared to us having the Raiders, but we have Baltimore. They have Pittsburgh, right? We have the Bucks, and they have the Saints. So I'd rather play the Saints at this point. No offense. I mean, I think the Bucks are a better team right now. I think it kind of evens out, very, very similar schedules.
Yeah, man, 100%, man.
I'm sorry for cutting you off, by the way.
The Titans are going to take a step back this year. It happens to pretty much all the teams that are on a high for a while. Of course, Derrick Henry's been the best running back in the NFL for years now, but he's going to take a lot of damage this year with this schedule. So we don't know how his production is going to carry over, because this is probably going to be one of the toughest schedules of his career, if we're being honest. It's going to be one of the toughest ones, and it's going to be some hitters that's going to want to take Henry down. The identity is out there for what the Titans are going to do. So that's probably going to be another reason why they take a step back. So, I mean, this is no knock on Henry. We all love Henry here, even though he plays for the Titans. So we'll see how it goes for them. But yeah, the division is ours to win. It really is. It's either us or the Jaguars, in my opinion, to win in this division, because we don't know what the Jaguars are going to perform like. So, like I said, I think the Titans are going to take a step back. But, hey, man, to each his own. We'll see how it goes. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in to this stream tonight. It's been 3 hours. I'm pretty much getting tired at this point. Been up for a minute. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll do another one of these in the future. It got a lot of traction tonight, pretty decent amount of views. Got a lot of donations. Got some people to join the membership club. Appreciate you guys tonight on that as well. But from me, Lawrence, Luke is here. This is Marcus, and we're out. You've been Culture Shock.